Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll be talking about procrastination. So this video is for any one of you who are planning to work on something that truly matters to you, but you find yourself procrastinating. I'm an artist, so I'm quite familiar with it. Many times creative people are very familiar with it because we're usually more sensitive, and one reason that we are procrastinating is because we associate what we want to do with some sort of pain rather than pleasure. Even though it may bring us a great amount of pleasure when we start doing it or when we finish it, still unconsciously we look at it as something painful because it's not so familiar, or maybe our mental frame around it is not the most supportive. So I remember when I was in school, I was often procrastinating on studying, like I was pushing it away until the last possible moment, because nobody taught me why it's important or how to approach it differently, like why studying would be important, like not just for grades, but maybe for self-discipline or for organizing myself, learning to organize myself. And also sometimes I was procrastinating on starting a new painting. Like I was inspired and everything, but I didn't start. Sometimes I was procrastinating on making a video. But then I found a way to deal with that more, let's say, more beneficially. And I want to share with you 6 steps that helped me to work with this kind of a pattern of procrastination, how to overcome it, or better said, heal it. So my friends, you need to understand why are you procrastinating at the first place? What is your coping mechanism? Let's say you're avoiding that thing that you know that would be healthy for you because it's maybe unpleasant. Truly, it's just unfamiliar. Your brain hasn't developed patterns that would look at this thing as something fun, something exciting, because you've never think about this thing that way. Nobody taught you. So sometimes, if working out is very unpleasant for you, starting to read a book about working out, about activity, about maybe biohacking or anything that may resonate with you will deeply inspire you to do it. So it will change your mindset around that thing, and suddenly you will start to think like, it's very good for me, I want to do it, and you will start looking forward to do something like that. But knowing why we are procrastinating is the first step, so we stop doing it, right? Or at least we decrease it. So the thing is, we just don't change overnight. So even though we know what to do, we'll still sometimes lose its grip and we'll fail at it, and we may be blaming ourselves or we may be judging ourselves, where we need to be very compassionate and kind towards ourselves. So what is your coping mechanism? And just notice like what you start doing when there's something painful or unpleasant that you actually want to do. What you start doing, or do you start scrolling on your phone? Do you start distracting yourself? What is your coping mechanism and why you do it? Like maybe you want to go into the gym, but you are afraid of being embarrassed because you're not so used, what to do there. And therefore you find all kinds of ways to distract yourself. Well, the second step here is an answer. For me, if I'm starting something new that I might be procrastinating on, sometimes it happens with working out because, I have so many other interesting things to do that I could easily skip my workouts. I could just go painting, I could just go making videos, I could just go writing or making certain programs. But I know I need to work out, my body needs it, it's just good for me. I feel good when I'm doing it, but usually I don't look forward for it so much. So for me, if I'm starting something new, I need to have a clear plan. How will I start it? You see, how will I start it at least a day before, so I mentally and emotionally prepare for it. I can kind of manage my time differently, and I can know this time of my day I will be doing it. And that's how I kind of prepare myself for it. So let's say you're starting something like studying, for example, and you're pushing it away because it's boring and unpleasant. You think about it this way. But let's say you plan how will you start it. Like at 5 p.m. I will prepare my desk, I will, I don't know, burn a candle, I will make sure that no one will distract me, then I will prepare a tea, then I will sit down, and then I will open that book and the momentum will start, right? So it's having a plan, how will you start? And then depends of the thing. For me, with workouts, I was often procrastinating if I didn't have a workout plan, like at least 1 month ahead workout plan for every single day. So I've recognized, okay, what really works for me is firstly to know why I want to do it. And then I wrote down why I want to do it, because it puts me into a very good state, mental state, very good emotional state. I feel good in my body when I'm working out. I feel more focused. I feel more energized. I feel like I would free the animal within me. And that's the reason why I want to work out. But then I need to know, okay, what kind of workout will I be doing? What kind of exercises will I be doing? For how much time? I kind of need to have a precise plan for the things I'm not so much looking forward to. Because when I have a precise plan, then I don't need to think about it, so I don't need to waste any of mental energy for it, and therefore it's much easier to do it. And obviously when I start doing it, and because I have a precise plan for each exercise that follows the one that I'm doing, I don't need to think about it, so I can enjoy the process of it. And that helped me so much. And it can be applied in anything. It can be applied in making videos. It can be applied at building a website. It can be applied at starting a business. It can be applied at studying, at anything. If you have firstly a plan, like how will you start it tomorrow? What will be exact steps you can do to start working on it? And then also having a plan, like I need to have a plan for workouts, having exact plan for kind of chapters of this process you will go through. Like if you start studying, for how long you will be just reading, for how long you will be writing what you've learned, for how long you will be reflecting, for how long you will be researching, and I don't know what else process you need to go through. So you have kind of organized tasks, because most of the time, you see, our brain is designed to reserve its energy for the most important things. So therefore, if something that already feels unpleasant, if we don't have clarity around the steps we will take there, we avoid it because it may exhaust us without making any progress. So it's good if we take time and really organize certain tasks, so once we start doing it, it will not be overwhelming. It will be like just following a plan. Like, I don't know, if you had a job or if you have a job, when your boss said something to you, you have to do, you just did it. But when you start your own company, you recognize, oh, I need to learn to start giving tasks to myself, and I need to learn when I will, pause and retreat, or, take a break. I need to be my own boss. I need to learn to set rules for myself, or at least tasks for myself. So you learn to really develop this kind of an organized mind around the things that may feel more unfamiliar. Eventually, if you persist with them and you stay consistent with them, they will become a part of your nature. As neuroscience says, every time we start studying something new, or doing something new, or practicing something new, our brain starts developing new synaptic connections, 1 hour of studying doubles the synaptic connections. And when we stay consistent with it, we start maintaining these new connections, which means your brain started changing itself. It's the neuroplasticity. Your brain started changing itself and it affected the body. Your body started changing because of that. So if you start doing something new and you make a habit out of it, it means that you will stop doing something old. You will slowly start releasing certain old habits. So these old synaptic connections will slowly start losing its grip, and that's called change or transformation. That's why change is so hard, because when we start doing something new, the connection is not established, it's not deeply rooted. So we need repeating it and understanding this part of, I guess, our biology. To me, it helps me to see a bit bigger picture why sometimes something is unpleasant. The third part here is also very important, that helped me so much, is to prepare your environment so it will be supportive for what you're intending to do. Just think about it. Let's say it's very hard for you to study something. Think about how it is if you go into a library and study there. It's so much more pleasant. You can do it for 2 hours and it will just go like nothing, because the whole environment is supportive for that. Let's say you want to study somewhere where you're most of the time watching TV or Netflix or scrolling on social media. It will not be so supportive because you have too many emotional associations with dopamine, pleasure things, and therefore studying is boring. So you need to prepare your environment so it will support what you want to do. Like, if the thing is very important to you, well, change your environment completely. Put some, I don't know, inspiration on the wall, quotes on the wall. Change your place completely. Like, make it the one that will support your new self. See, your present environment, let's say your home, is a reflection of who you were until now. But if you want to change, it means that you can't, it will be very hard for you to change in where you are. Maybe if you make changes around you, they will be so much more supportive for who you are becoming. Like, sometimes it's just helpful. I know when I've started making YouTube videos, I always had in front of where I was making videos a huge whiteboard, and on that board I've put on photos of my favorite teachers, authors, and so on. So I saw them as examples. I saw them as, incredible examples, people with incredible qualities that I want to embody. And every time I saw it, it reminded me it's within me as well. And through practice, I can become like them, just in my unique way. And things like that can help us so much. So make sure that your environment will be supportive for what you're doing. If you're starting your business, make sure that your environment is clean, that it already represents like someone who is working on a successful business. If you're working out, make sure that you prepare the space. If it's hard for you to work out at home, go into the gym. It will be so much easier. If it's still hard, find a coach or mentor that will, guide you through a workout, or go with a friend and push each other. It's just so much more helpful, because you don't need to be alone in this process. Prepare your environment for what you're working on, and it will be so helpful, so you can stop procrastinating. And then the fourth one, find intellectual and emotional support for it. You see, you only do what's the most familiar to it, and when you choose to do something new that's unfamiliar, you will already associate it with pain and any kind of unpleasant emotional sensation. So you need some mental support for it, so you can kind of widen this perspective of why it's good for you. Like, for example, if I have longer breaks not working out because of certain reasons, like traveling or when I was moving to a new place, I had a longer break, and then it was a bit harder to get back into the momentum. I just started reading one book about some latest science behind working out, like what kind of workouts are the best for muscles and for longevity and for kind of biohacking stuff. And when I started reading that, I just got inspired. Oh, I want to start, right? So whatever is the thing that you're procrastinating on, it's usually because your mindset is not supportive for it. It's too old. You need to update it, right? You need to update the program in your mind. To me, it's very, very helpful, and it will also give you an emotional support, because when you get some new information that's helpful for what you're looking for, you will also feel inspired and motivated. And then don't just end with one book, read another one, and maybe another one, and another one, until your mindset will completely change, and your outlook on life will start to see this part of your life that you're procrastinating on as something more natural, like something that is already becoming a part of you as you're walking towards it. Visualization is another powerful practice to shift your mind around it. Like athletes are visualizing how they are winning, how they're, acting on the field, how they're moving, what are the next moves they will do, and so on. And therefore, when they go on the field, they're already prepared for it. They are looking forward to it. And same you can do. Like if it's something very hard for you to start, visualize yourself already doing that, and try to find a sense of pleasure with it, a sense of joy with it. And if it's hard, just go deeper. See yourself doing it. See yourself already having this successful company, or see yourself already enjoying so much at working out, because it's so good for your body, because it's so good to feel healthy, it's so good to feel, very active or vital. Very, very helpful to find an intellectual and emotional support. And then the fifth one is identity shift. Your old self will never see a reason to do what's unfamiliar because it's discomfortable. You need to adapt your identity to someone who's already in tune with that activity or work. So, so many times I see comments from people who stopped drinking or who stopped smoking. And all these people did one and the same thing. They stopped looking at themselves as drinkers or smokers. They just stopped doing that. They've started looking at themselves as people who are not smoking or people who are not drinking. They shifted their identity. When I've started painting, I've started saying I'm an artist. Before I was an athlete, I was not doing art. When I've started painting, I've started saying I'm an artist. And then just, working on creative projects became just natural to me. And then I've started making videos, and I say, I'm a teacher, I'm making videos, and so on. So it's how you see yourself. When you start working out, if you're saying to yourself, oh, working out is not my nature, it's, I'm not used to it, it will not be helpful. If you say to yourself, I'm a very active person, I love to be healthy, I take care of my body, I take care of my nutrition, my diet, I love myself to such a degree that, I just need to take care of this. It will be so much easier. It's how you shift your identity. You shift kind of the concept of yourself, like how you choose to perceive yourself. And sometimes, again, reading a book about it may be very helpful, or every single day when you're journaling, journal this new identity, like who you are as the new version of yourself, and what are the things that you're leaving behind. Just having clarity around these two different perceptions, like this is my old self, not working out or not studying or not being consistent with it, and this is my new self. I love to be consistent, I love challenges, I love moving through unpleasant experiences because I always build new courage, I always build new strength. Of course, rest when you need it. Sometimes people procrastinate the most because they're exhausted, because they're so tired of all the boring life. So notice when you need to rest so you will not be too hard on yourself. Sometimes, when nothing works well, sleep is the best solution, and be easy on yourself. And then the last thing, very important one, is emotional regulation, preparing for downfalls. When we lose the momentum, it just happens. You can't avoid it. Doesn't matter how disciplined you are, you will have days where you will lose the momentum, where you will quit at things that you want to stay consistent with, or you will be procrastinating because you will be more maybe brain foggy, or you will not be so clear around the things, or maybe you need to update plans, or you need to update routines and you haven't took time for it, or you've been too busy, or something happened in your family, or whatever it is, you will have downfalls. For me, it's often, the biggest disturbance is often traveling. When I travel, every time I get home, I lose so much of momentum with painting, with workouts, with writing. And then it always feels like a downfall. But because it happened so many times until now that I just know what I have to do, I need to, take 1 or 2 days off to rest more, and then to just rehearse a plan or to create a new plan and start a new chapter. I always see it as, okay, the old chapter has ended and I will begin a new one here. And emotional regulation is very powerful because we learn to cope with our emotions more consciously. Like, you don't blame yourself when you go through downfalls. You don't judge yourself for that. You see yourself as someone who is just evolving. You're evolving, and through evolution you experience ups and downs. It's nature. That's how everything in life works. And when you can be more compassionate and loving towards yourself, you'll notice it's all a part of the process. Don't be so hard on yourself, but learn to be more compassionate. Learn to look at it as, trial and error, and it's all okay. It's all okay. Just make sure that at some point you make a new plan and you start again. And that's it. You start again and you keep going. And that's how you will create so many wonderful things in your life that you will be so proud of. And I'm already proud of you. I'm sharing today with you the painting of a lion. The Spirit of a Lion is the name of it. And anyone who would like to have it as a motivation or support for your journey, you can get a print of it in our store, AttractPassion.com, or our Etsy store, I Draw My Passion. My friends, I hope you found great value in today's message. I think this topic is very important because I found myself many times struggling with it. And again, mental clarity and having a precise plan, but still allowing ourselves to be spontaneous and free and creative, finding a balance between it can only happen through practice, through a certain kind of a devotion to it, to growth, to evolution, to your highest possible self. So my friends, stay beautiful. Until next time, one love. Hey my friend, I hope you found great value in today's message. And I want to invite you into our freshly created and opened store, AttractPassion.com, where you can find all of my art. So if you found my art inspiring, you can get a copy of it. You can also get some of my original paintings. So go and check it out. You can use the code PASSION15 and you will get 15 off on your first order. I'm also offering one-on-one coaching. So if you feel like you would like to deepen your journey a little bit and you're kinda aligned with my work, you can go and check out the link in the description of this video and book a session. So check it out. And thanks to everyone for joining our Patreon community, where you have access to community chat and some exclusive content, some guided workshops, and so much more. So check it out, and don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you found this video very valuable, share it with a friend. Thank you so much. Let's spread some inspiration, some good energy, and see you in the next one. Much love.